So we're up to, what do you say? He brought the Zohar, that the Zohar says that there are 10 expressions of Simcha here. First of all, the Zohar makes the point that this seventh bracha includes all of the brachas. It also contains within it the 10 Maimaris, the 10 and because in this is incorporated the upper and the lower, therefore, in these 10 expressions of joy, as he explains, the Zohar means to say, are united the 10 Sviras above.
Does it mean that includes upper and lower again?
Lower is here and upper is upper.
How in the bracha is that included?
He's going to explain why Chassan and Kala are the means of that unity. Yeah.
The Rabbi already said that sorry, Dibris says Dibris for Ilah. And sorry about Mar or Talah, but it explained.
Yeah, I think you said that. Well, it's coming. It's coming.
All right. Yeah.
Where?
The first paragraph.
Huh? Yeah. So the Zohar means Aseret Sadibis, which of course is the 10 Sviras. So they're united. The Aseret Sadibis and the Saramai Moris. And so it continues that meritorious Ayidin, that they are Zoiche to create Dinun Zochol L'Sata Kegana Delela. They merit down here, paralleling above. He explains that to mean that through their Avodah down here, it's not just we mirror what's happening above, but rather through the Avodah of L'Sata, we do the same, Kegavna, we do the same La'ela up there. Now, in Mamshech Alikus, in the highest Madre, Mamshech Atzmos, Gil Erin Sof, in the El Mesel Yonim, in the La'ela. Okay, so it's all very cryptic, and then the bottom line is that there is this, through our Avodah, we connect the Asar Mamaris and the Aseret Sadibris, and moreover, we Mamshech Alikus in the highest Oilimus. So Abira Inyan, why is all of this connected Dafka? This is a general statement. Why is it connected Dafka to Chassan and Kala? So the explanation is that everything is nishtalshel from above. And so what's Chassan and Kala? That's HaKadosh Baruch Hu Knesset Yisrael. Whole Shir Hashirim is that B'yim Chasanus Hashem's Chasana in the pasuk in Shir Hashirim is a reference to Matan Torah. Toiv Lev Mishte Tamid. Why Mishte Tamid? Because every day is Matan Torah. Noisen Torah, not Nosen Torah. And the Eibishter repeats, as it were, after Yid speaks. Now, the Rebbe says that in so doing, when you speak words of Torah, you're mamshech Matan Torah as it was the first time, which is why you have to learn Torah with the same dread and awe and fear and trembling. And especially, it's what we're up to, especially these four expressions of Ema, Yira, Reses, Ziyah, Akaneged, the Daladois Hashem Havaya, which was revealed by Matan Torah. So what's a summary of this paragraph? The shaila is, why is this whole inyan that a Yid does, connecting Aseret Maimaris, Aseret Sadibris, why is this expressed by the Zohar in connection with Chassan Kala? The explanation begins that Chassan Kala are Yid and the Eibishter, and that's an ongoing, real, alive relationship every moment. Matan Torah. So that's what we're up to, yeah? Second paragraph is base.
Rabbi, sorry, I'm just tuning in. Where's the mimer?
You have Melukit?
Yeah.
Okay, so Chelek base, page Samach Zion right now.
Thank you.
A Maimer that the Rebbe said on in connection with the 50th anniversary of his chasana, based on a Maimer that one of the Maimarim that the figure Rebbe said during the Sheva Brachas. Tafresh Pitas, 1929. But all based on that Maimer. All right, so so through Eisekat Torah, Pelim, Gamba, Ilam, Shiyeh, Keli, because we affected the world should be a Keli for godliness. The Eisekat Torah Nosa. Just 1 second. All right. The Eisekat Torah Nosa V'Yorda, according to Tanya, there's okay, this here. Through the fact that the Torah journeyed and descended, as he describes there. Actually, it's Hashem's Chochmah and Ratzon, and His divine will and wisdom descends, journeys and descends. And that's the process of Tzimtzum. Actually, it's B'Dvarim Gashmim, to the extent that His divine wisdom and will is expressed in material, physical matters. B'chdei, this is all quoting Tanya, Sheyuchal Adam Litfeis Oisa, that in order that a person down here in the body should be able to grasp it. The machshava and his thoughts, dibur and his words, or ma'aseh in his actions. So through that, and so when a person connects to Torah and lives it in thought, speech, and action, so he draws alikus into the world. Then it's known, the 10 sayings, the 10 utterances. God said, "Let there be light," and so on, for which the world was created. They correspond to the Seres Adibris. It says in the Zohar, they're talking there about the gifts. The pasuk says the gifts that the Nesiim, the princes, gave inaugurating the Mishkan. So the pasuk says, "Asora kaf shekel hakodesh." They gave, each one of them gave a spoon, and each spoon was the weight of 10 holy shekel, filled with incense. So the double expression, asora kaf. It's common. That's the way Lashon HaKodesh works. You repeat the word twice to say every. But the Zohar says the diuk is the 2 asaras here. One refers to asaras adibris, and the other asaras memoris. Because one it corresponds to the other. And therefore, through asaras adibris, Torah, we affect the world, which came as a result of the 10 Maimoris. Shagam Heim Yil, the shekel HaKodesh, they should also be the weight, literally the shekel, a holy shekel, meaning a holy world. The world runs on money, right? So shekel HaKodesh is affected through a Yid's observance of the Aseres Adibris. Yeah? Yes, that was clear, yes. Shleima. This is the Asar Memoris, the 10 utterances of creation. The Seres Adibris, Shkulim, way, literally. One opposite the other. The intent here is in their interface. Each one affects the other. Namely, it's just like we just said. Through Torah mitzvahs, we affect creation, which is a result of the 10 memories. Like it says in Zohar, Hashem looked into Torah and created the world. The world is created through the 10 utterances, but where are they found? The 10 utterances are in Torah. Million dead yoita. So the 10 Torah, it's a lesson of the Zohar. It's not the way of the king to use million dead yoita ordinary language. The king doesn't speak ordinary language, and if he does, it's for it's part of the king's kavanah. So if they're able to get involved in creation, Hashem's beyond creator. The whole power of creation for Hashem is million dead yoita. It is yoita means hedjit means common, common, as opposed to royalty. So it's not the way of the king to use common language. So common language means creation. What the Zohar is saying, the Eibush is totally beyond creation. He's not a creator. He descended to create for his kavanah. So that's Asar Mamoris. Lahavas is Olam to create the world. So what are we saying? It's all rooted in Torah. So clearly Torah brings to bear Kedusha into the world. Asar Mamoris are found in Torah because the point is to Mamshech Likus into the world. That is Torah's effect. That's Torah's effect on creation. Now the other way around. Both it's both ways. Moishe, you have a maamer. This copy's up there. Huh? Yes, I made 10. We're not 10 in the room. You sure? You know what? I'll tell you, it could be still in the copy room. It's on the WhatsApp. I sent it on the Chassidus WhatsApp. It's there. So likewise the other way around. Through our avodah in matters of the world, meaning that through our avodah of this world that's created through the 10 Maimoros, which are called common words relative to the holy words of Torah. So so we affect Torah. Torah becomes elevated through our birurim, our work in this world, in the Asar Maimoros. Shalchen yesh, and he adds in the square bracket, Shalchen yesh pirush, b'maymer azer laposek asar goyim. There's a pirush, a commentary. It's brought in Chassidus. Doesn't say who it is. On the Zohar, on these words which talked on the pasuk, where the Zohar said that the Asar go on the 10 Aseres Hadibros and Asar Maimoros. There it says, Asar Maimoros heim gavoyim Aseres Hadibros. There's a pirush that which is higher. In fact, the 10 utterances of creation are higher than Aseres Hadibros, pointing to, through engagement in this world, we pale an aliyah even in Torah, which will be explained. So what does it mean that we're pale? And Aliyah explains it right now. And Aliyah in Torah through engaging in the world. He says in Tanya, Shebirur halacha b'Torah, to arrive at the final halacha in Torah can only happen down here. Al yedei neshama b'guf dafke, it's only in neshama b'guf. So heaven's still in doubt. Heaven can debate forever, and it does. What the halacha is in, the Gemara actually illustrates, his arguments are in heaven. But where is the final ruling? The final ruling is dafka lamata. So we see the dafka down here in the Neshama B'guf, in this world of Asar Maimoros, we pale a clarity in Aliyah, in Torah, we mamshich the Pnimius HaRotzen in Torah. Therefore, the upper, the higher worlds come to hear the Chedusha Torah that is said down here. And in my little fantasy, there was never ever in history such a Elyonim coming Lishmai Chedusha Torah like the last few days. Like this Fabrengen that's embracing the world, that heaven is astir. We hope it's stirred enough that the green light from Mashiach is given. Not just in theory, but in Pil Mamish. Kamay Marazal ala Pasuk, as Chazal say in the Pasuk, Chaverim Makshim Lekelech, friends come to listen to your voice. This is brought in the Basi Legani Maimorim. In the second Maimer, which begins with the words Yeshavas Beganim. So there, Chazal say that friends, the Pasuk says, friends come to hear your voice. So with the friends, it's two Pirushim, and one of them is Malachim come to hear what your voice at a Yid is saying down here in Torah, and revealing Torah in the depth that they themselves cannot access. And so much so, this is also a quote from Medrash. Eibush says to the ministering angels, Lima atem shoelim. Me, you're asking. Ani va'atem neilech etzel bezdin shamata. I and you will go to Bezdin Shalmata, and there get the answer. What he's saying, what the Chiddush of this last statement is, not just the Malachim, it's HaKadosh Baruch himself. So we just finished saying now what? That not only does Torah influence, obviously, that's sort of my motto, the whole point is that we live a life guided by Torah, but then living a life guided by Torah and toiling in Torah, we bring an elevation to Torah itself. Likewise, Chas and Kala. Even though the Chas and Kala down here, so they come from a level above, which is what Shinyonan Besviris Uza Umalchus, right? Chasan is Za, Mashpia, and Kala is Malchus, the recipient. Higher still, even higher, the level of Kutchabricha Shchinte, which is generally Zon Malchus, Chasan Vakala. What's the root of Kutchabricha and Shchinte? When you know Eidin Sof Shechniat Tzimtzum, Vakav. Eidin Sof is Kutchabricha, and the Kav is Kala, is Shchinte. K'mavu Baruch, Bedru Shechak, Admo Marash, the Marash explains at length. And tracing back even higher Chasan Vakala. So we just said now it's the Eidin Sof and the Kav. But the Kav is already post-Tzimtzum. Now we're going even higher. The whole inyan of Kutchabricha Shchinte exists even lifnei Tzimtzum. In general, that's the Eira Gvul, that it's bound up with Atzmos, levels and levels. So what's he saying? In his mid-sentence, that even though Chas and Vakala down here, so they come from all these successive lofty levels, so they're far removed, the Chas and Vakala, they are down here, Begashmias, are far removed from their successive origins. Mikol Mokim, nonetheless, continuing the theme of the previous paragraph that we're pale in Torah, likewise, Al Yedei Aveda Lamata Dafka, it's Dafka through the Aveda down here. Ubeproti is Al Dei Simchas Chas and Vakala Shalamata, and specifically, as the Maimon will explain, the joy associated with Chas and Kala. Mamshichim Teisves Eir B'Chas and Vakala Shalamayla, we effect in a greater revelation in the loftiest levels of Chas and Kala above. Gam Kameshim B'Shorshim Arish Lifnei Atzimtzum. We even Mamshich Alikus in revelation, even to the loftiest levels, as he just said, Lifnei Atzimtzum. The Derech Shad Isek HaTorah, similar to when a Yid learns Torah and mitzvah shalamata dafka, so nase yichud kutchabricha shchinte, this causes a yichud above of Zon Malchus on all of its levels. K'mavur betanya gam k'meishem lemayla at its loftiest levels. That's in general Torah and mitzvahs, and that's expressed also in the inyan of Chas and Vakala, which will be explained why we're focusing on Chas and Vakala and not Torah and mitzvahs b'chlal. And he added in the brackets also the joy associated with the chasana. So let's see. Ois Gimel, yeah, we're all good. Ois Gimel, chapter 3. So the Fidig Rebbe asks in that Maimer there, the Sheva Brachas Maimer. So if you look at the bracha, it says Asher Bara Sosim V'Simcha, and then Chasim V'Kala, and then it goes on to mention another 8 expressions of joy, Gil, Lorina, and so on. Shaila, Simcha Sheva Bracha Zu. What's the whole point of this bracha? We're bringing joy to Chasim and Kala K'Maimer. As the Mishnah says, how do we dance before the Kala? Shammai has his view, Beis Hillel has his view. So, it first should say, Asher Bara Chasam V'Kala, and then we're bringing them Sasayin and Simcha and all the expressions of joy. They just come in the middle. First is Sasim and Simcha, and then Chasam Kala continues the expressions of joy. Either at the end or the beginning, but in the beginning, they made a Chasam V'Kala, and then here we're bringing now them, we're being Mesameh Chasam V'Kala. So why does he say these words, Sas and V'simcha, before introducing Chas and Kala? Again, when he move another question, Mashikosav Shebara Chas and Kala. He created Chas and Kala. Now, we just said, V'kivin Shaschola, saying the Chas and Kala. We said at the beginning, the origins of Chas and Kala, who Chas and Kala Shalom Maila, these lofty levels above, Ich Shaykh Leim Hazeh Shebara. How is the bracha invoking the word create, Loshen Bria, which implies a creation that is something in separate and a separate existence. We're talking about levels Lifnei HaTzimtzum. Elam HaBria comes way, it's almost inconceivable in Lifnei HaTzimtzum. There should be an Elam HaBria. It's only because of the Tzimtzum, and then there's a whole elaborate and dramatic and drastic process, the great Tzimtzum, and then we can speak about Bria. Even the level of Kala, which is the Makabal, Sviras HaMalchos, it's also not Bria. Sviras Atzilis Malchos, which is Kala, is still part of the Sviras of Atzilis, which are, in the words of the Sefer Yetzirah, Eser V'Leitesha, 10, not 9, 10, not 11. So it's B'diuk and it's Dafka. This is how God chooses to express himself in these 10 ways. All of them are him. It's all part of Atzilus. Malchus mashlim asviras. Malchus completes the sviras. As the pasuk says, Anoichi shaloime emuna yisod. It's a pasuk there in Shmuel Beis, and the story there is a rebellion led against David HaMelech, and he's going to destroy the city. And this woman, a wise woman, comes out and she says, I am at peace and faithful to the house of Israel, to you. So why destroy the city? And he doesn't. So Kabbalah explained, this is Malchus is speaking. And the point is that whole, I complete Emunah Yisrael, meaning a likus, that Malchus, it's a hint, it's an illusion that Malchus, the completion of the Eses Vidas, the Atzilus, which is Hashem's revelation. So the question, how can we use the word Bria here, creation? We're talking at Atzilus and even loftier. Obviously, Chosam, which is Ein Shaykh Limit Ba'alosh Bria, for sure you can't use the expression Bria. Malchus is a word, Malchus creates at the end of the day, but Malchus itself is higher than the actual Bria. So how do we say Ashibara Chosan V'Kala? Question is clear? Yeah? Continuing. Mavaya, the Fidiyab explains, prefacing the pasuk in Yeshaya, L'fonai le'noitzer keil. Now, the emphasis, if you look at the pasuk there, Hashem is saying that he's eternal, and before me, no God formed. There's no God that formed, that created. But that's not how it's being understood here. L'fonai le'noitzer keil, I don't even know how to explain it, translate it, but the question he's about to ask is that Kael, which is one of the Eibishter's names, in the Pasuk, I'm telling you in the Pasuk, it's not talking about God. Faket is talking about false God. There's no gods, and it's a Kael. But here we're understanding it as actually Kael, referring to the Eibishter himself. And what would be the Pshat? Lefon Leile Neitzer Kael? I don't know. But the question being asked in the Maimah here is, which we're about to see, how to use the word Yitzira by Kael. It's quickly lifted out of the context of the Pshat. If I look up other places, out of 46, there's a whole, maybe there'll have more clarity how Chassidus is touching the Pasuk. I have a guess, but I'm not going to say it. I don't know. But that's not the point. The point here is, the point is, how can the word Yitzira, which means formation, be associated with Shem Kael? This is one of the 7 names of Hashem. The 7 names that once written cannot be erased because they're all sacred. So how do we use the term Yitzira in association with Kale when Yitzira means this really form, this strong, it's even lower than Bria? Yeah, the question is clear. So the association with Hashem, that Kale is defined as a kind of a Yitzira. This question is we have a stronger kasha here than on the bracha shebara, because there we're asking how can you use the word bria, creation, when it comes to chasam v'kal zon malchus. Here Shem Kale, and it's using Yitzira. Given she Yitzira noitzer lamatim bria bara. Formation implies greater limitation than creation. Creation is still nebula, and formation is already formed. And how is the pasuk associating with Shem Kale, which is one of the 7 names? Shein nimchakim, the limitation of Yitzira. Okay, the general question we get. Yeah. All right. So we'll stop here, and Be'ez Hashem tomorrow we continue at 8:30. Yeah. So this week you got 2 breaks.